Alright, let's edit the goose model. So after doing the control rig stuff and getting it in there, we've got some edits for the wing to split it out. So this will be for both the color and for some neat animating stuff that we're seeing. Okay, so the original file, goose1 obj is there, and there's a second one now, goose2. And so this could be a problem, like, the naming scheme is completely different. So like if I try to pass this in just like a drop-in replacement and then like alter the processing, well, like it's not going to work anymore because all of the names are different. So the names that it's looking for from the original model no longer exist. So I'm just going to, which is okay because we only need some pieces from this new model. So it's not a big deal. We can use the original one, and then we're gonna fuse it together with the changes. So let's do group wing whole needs to be broken out. So that's what's happened here. It has been broken out, so we will now delete that. Splitting out the wing slot, says notes for myself, which the wing slot I think is pulled out. Yeah, so we'll delete this note because this is basically it. I don't remember what that debug is for. Delete duplicates. Not really sure what this was supposed to be. I guess I was just detect. I don't know what I was doing. That's a debug. If it's yellow on my own color scheme, it's a debug, so I don't need it. All right. So here we have the names. So we're fixing all the names here, like to be something that we can work with later. We're deleting blanks or doubles, so probably right here we can modify the geo, because once we get down here, we're going to start doing colors and joints, which, let me see, where's the colors? I thought it was right here. Oh, maybe it's right here. Yeah, these are the colors. And yeah, so now that we have the wing split out, we can utilize these other colors. I think right now I just shoved in the wing into that last color group. All right. We're also going to enhance the bone structure for each feather. So the idea is we're going to put a joint here, and this will connect to the wing wherever the root of the wing is. And then the feather geometry here can kind of like hang a little bit, so we'll let it move like just slightly, very, very subtle. But we need to set up a bone structure. Okay, so all right, here we go. Let's find that geo. So we're gonna go in here, and we need to really just select, there's a few pieces. There's the gear, really just the entire wing except for the slot here. And we don't want any of these connector pieces because we have that in the other geo. Then we'll delete the wing in the original. So I suppose we have group rename, and we're going to do another little section. Oh, I think it's called blast. And so it's right now it's blasting everything. Let's find our. So we don't want to delete wing base. I think it's wing whole. That's for sure. So we'll delete the whole wing, and we should see some parts though. So I'm a little confused by, I didn't think it was, sometimes the selector is a little obnoxious, like it's selecting, I'm not really sure how this happens, but somehow in the base modeling program, it'll select more than it's like one piece of geo, like the names can be shared. So okay, so like here if we go, like wing hole, yeah, see how wing hole is like always, oh, I got the selector set wrong. We need to do, there we go. So like the wing slot, I'm hovering over that, but it's also selecting wing hole, and it's not like I don't want that. So I'm gonna have to do some minor negations here. Also, all of these base joints. So I think the syntax for that, and I always have trouble with this. So you do wing hole because we want to blast that. And I think I need to press enter here because it's gonna freak out. Yeah. It's a great way to crash Houdini is to enter into this edit mode and then ignore it and start doing things and it'll crash. Like it's like a 50% chance that it'll just blow up. All right, wing hole, but we don't want to. You can't use this. This one is a negation, but if you use this, then it's better. I can't tell you why. So there we go. So it's gonna say wing hole, but not wing slot. Most programming languages you would say this, but then it's too greedy and it grabs everything, which is annoying. So in Houdini, you got to do it that way. So we also want all that base structure back, and so I named him wing base underscore. And so if we just do this, and I think if we do star here, it should grab all that equipment there. Because we want all that to come back. Looks like it's not. Yeah, it's like deleting a little bit more than I want. So let me figure out what those are called. So we'll go back over here. Or just one of these other nodes. Switch to this selector. No, that's not the selector. This guy. So wing base. Oh. Okay. I got too zealous with the safety there. Just get rid of the underscore. There we go. Yeah, it'll do. Okay. So now we have all this equipment here, and we want this, and that's already set up and named, and so we don't have to redo any of that. Just leave it alone. Okay. So that cleans out this part of the geo. All right. What's next? Okay, so maybe now what we want is to select the wing that we want and pull it in. And so it's going to come in different parts. And so we're going to get all that. And effectively, we're going to come back. We'll merge it together with the names that we expect. So delete blanks or doubles. Which, let me check this one real quick. Yeah, those are, we don't have to worry about that. Okay. So let's do this one. And I suppose, I'm not sure what it was doing there. That's kind of annoying. Hold on. Need to make sure. Okay, so there's some, it's run through a transform right here. So you see this? So that transform, we need to apply the same transform here just for sanity. So I'm going to go up here. Just going to move this like that. Size ref. Okay, so now if we look at this version and this version, should be a one-to-one. It's a lot easier to work with. Okay. So look at this guy. We'll set this transparent. Maybe that'll be okay. And then we're going to delete everything that's not the wing because we don't need it. So I'm probably, honestly, just going to select this by hand. There's a couple ways to do it. We could do a box selector, but the thing is, the shape of it is going to collect like this guy, which I don't want because we already have in. How do I stop it? Where is this? Let's go to, yeah, this is the view I want to look at. Oh, it looks like actually, I'm glad I checked that. So that little circle disk should be there. I gotta figure out what that name is. So, because I can't use a box selector. I'm just gonna select them by hand. Wing under disk. Okay, well, I should have called that wing link or whatnot. I'm actually wondering if I've caught that in the bone or in the skeleton. Does it have its own bone? Let's see. I feel like I didn't do it. I might have missed that. It's hard to see. Oh gosh, I can't believe I missed it. Oh, okay. Not to be confused with so that's the geometry name. And then whenever I started naming it for joints, this J underscore syntax, yeah, I changed it. So it's now called, I think, front link 3. And so it's inside of, yeah, wing under disk, the base group. So there's a bit of renaming that happens. I try not to do that, but it's really hard to predict, honestly. Like, we're just gonna run with it. And usually once we finish, there isn't a lot to do, otherwise. So we're just gonna add it in here specifically. Disk. There we go. We don't want to miss that piece. Okay. So there's that. Okay, now we're ready to come in here, and I'm just gonna start selecting Geo and blast everything else. So I'm gonna say I love my group nodes. They're a nice way to understand things. So there might be other ways to do this, but I enjoy this workflow. It's a lot easier to just understand. Okay, so let's see. So a negative approach or a positive approach? I'm gonna go positive approach. I'm gonna select all the things I want to keep. So you want that. Shift click. Shift click. Shift click. Okay, try not to accidentally press another hotkey. Shift click. Under the wing. That's good. Nope, nope, nope. Can't panic. Press the wrong hotkey and it's like it'll do something, but not what I want. I don't even know what it'll do. There's so many hotkeys. Okay, so that big old slot disk is fine. And just an aside, this is going to be like a weapon attachment or a upgrade attachment or some such. So that's why I want it to be separate from the wing, so it kind of wobble or get blasted off. It'll be an anchor point. Okay, so this is the positive selection. We don't really care what the names are. It doesn't matter at this point. We just want to get them all. And then we'll do a blast, and we can use a nice greedy selector to say not this group. So we'll say just say version 2 wing or something. Just say version 2. Say not version 2. Greedy. And blast it. So there we go. We got our wing parts, and so there's a few adjustments I'm going to make to this. It should be pretty simple. I want to kind of clean up the... It was totally my bad. I didn't communicate clearly, but these are sliced, these feathers, so I'm going to combine those back. And then we're going to isolate the gears into their own names. So I'm going to look at the other gears. I think I already named them J gear 2, so we're going to do J gear 3 and 4. So we'll start with that. Although, should I do that here? Hold on. Group rename. Blast. Let's get a merge node going so I can kind of think about it clearly. So here's the original. We'll pull that into the delete blanks or doubles. And then we're going to put this in, which will combine it. Then we start getting back into this. So at this point, whenever we're down here in the join section, we're going to want the name to be something. So yeah, we're going to want to do the group rename here. So we'll do a group rename, which I suppose they're already in groups, so this should work. And so we'll grab so here's all of these. We also want to, when we're blasting, if we get rid of unused groups, that'll clean up this list. Yeah, so now it's much shorter and just has the things that we want to see. I think before I do the renames, I'm going to fuse these feathers together. So let's do that. Let's do a group. I'm trying to remember how to do it. Fuse. I probably don't even need to do a group. I can just do a fuse. And yeah, we can put both of them in there. Let's just experiment that. So alright, so we got this nice little line here. Just click this, shift, the selector is all messed up. How come you're not working? It's like wanting to select points. Can't you select primitives? Ooh. Okay, so I have to select a group of points, which is, it's fine. I just need to get the group names ahead of time. So I need to see that list, which for some reason is not showing up. I'm a little confused by that. Why aren't you showing me the list? It's showing me points now. Hold on, let me escape. Look at something's broken. Yeah, what's happening to you, man? delete unused groups? Are you literally blasting all of the good group names too? Alright, a little confused. Not version 2. Yeah. What about your other group name? What is going on here? Okay, yeah, something's wigged out. And yeah, gosh, I think I have to like restart this. The fuse, like the fuse editor like broke the view. Dang it. Yeah, because I can't see to the groups now. Let me go over here for a sanity check. Yeah, see how it's not showing any of the groups. There's probably a way to get out of this mode. I don't know what I did though, so I'm just gonna restart. And we're back. Okay, restart Houdini and turn on the attribute list view. Just somewhere in this huge list. Okay, there we go. Yeah, that's all I really needed. So after the blast, here's all our groups. Okay, so I'm gonna just do another one. Right? Group. Going to. I'm just gonna nab. Go here. Where is it? This guy. So I'm gonna start with this first one here, which I need to fix this again. It doesn't remember. Like every time I turn it on, I have to do this again. So this is a little noxious. It's highlighting everything. One of these is like rogue. It's like too greedy. So Goose 86 in version 2. Oh, it's version 2. Okay, we can get rid of that. Version 2 we don't need anymore. So once we're done with that, also hold on before I break it again. Get out of that edit mode. We're gonna get rid of that group so it kind of cleans up the selector. Oh gosh, what's happening? We don't want that anymore. It should get rid of it, and then we can have a more sane selector. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna grab 18 and 86. Should enter, and then we should be able to run a fuse on that. I should just combine it back up. Okay, alright, so I couldn't just let it go. And anyway, I had to figure this out. So, check this out. I tried a bunch of ways it did not work. Or I couldn't, maybe they can work, I just didn't know how to do it with these tools. So remeshes it, which, I mean, I guess that works. It's not what I was going for. Polyreduce, which I guess could also work with some tweaking, but you know, it's going to change other things. I really just want to make one tiny adjustment. Then I read about edge collapse, which, you know, you can select the edges, and which is what I tried to select all of these and see, because I thought maybe it would stabilize if I had like a full loop, but that did not help. So just selecting one, it sort of makes it worse. And then there's dissolve, which seemed like whenever you Google it and side effects tells you, it seems like it should work, but it doesn't. So it like blasts the entire face off, and I just wanted the one line. So now, so if you, for whatever reason, like I don't know, if you use a Boolean, which I've got the two groups and their union, and I think everything else is default, so there's nothing special. Then we go to dissolve, and just select that edge, and it'll go away. So that's cool. Because really it's not affecting the geo in any other way. Like we don't, it's not necessary to be there, so just knock it out. So that's cool. And the underside I don't really care about as much, but I'll delete that too just for fun. So hopefully that works if I just do this. Cool. And I could probably even do this step. No, actually we can't do this step beforehand, but yeah, so, oops. There we go. So yeah, that takes care of that. And so now we have one little wing piece, and we can just probably do group delete and group rename. So I can like move this group down here, and then I'll just do this. And I'll do that whole process for each wing, but now each feather. But now that we have it, it should just be. Oh, it's not trimming it down. We have to do a split. Group 27 doesn't exist here, so we're gonna have to do probably I'll do this earlier. Okay, and so here we'll just do, might be overkill. We might not need to do this split like this ahead of time. Goose 18 and then Goose 86. 086. There we go. That should get us our named and grouped feather there. Okay, so then I'm going to delete all this because that didn't work. And I'm going to repeat this process for all of the feathers. Alright, so I sped through this part. This took me maybe like an hour to just clean up all the feathers and then get the geo merged in. So just sped this thing up because, yeah, the video's getting long. This part here specifically I wanted to note I'm breaking the flow here from the physics work and the skeleton work to the color assignment. This is just because the interface makes it difficult to select groups. If there's geometry that shares the same group, it'll highlight everything. It makes it really hard to select stuff. So if you just kind of temporarily modify the node order, then you can like kind of cut out all of that physics work and you can reattach it later. But just making these selections, it makes it much more sane and user-friendly. Working in Houdini like for about a year now, or maybe it's been more than that. Maybe it's a couple years. Like it feels a lot like Photoshop, where you spend a lot of time making selections, and that's basically what I'm doing here. Is I'm making a different set of selections for the rigging, and so we have to group it now not by color, but by how it's going to be animated and what chunks belong together and should move as one, and the things that are linked together. So you have to think through all of that, and then give it some logical names that you can refer to later whenever we're going to rig it on the skeleton side. The re-rigging wasn't too bad. We had most of this already set up. I just wanted to add in the detail for the feathers and fix all of the rotations to 0. So running through each of those and trying to decide which link to attach to the wing, like, because there's 2 different ones that connect to the hull. And so we just had to pick one to be the main parent and wire all that up. Right, slowing down here to look at this list view here. So with Unreal, they have this thing called control rig, and we're rigging it in Houdini currently right now. I don't know if we'll be able to do it in Blender or Maya like sometimes, but at least currently our process is the model's made outside and we pre-process it here in Houdini to get the coloring and the vertex coloring and the groups for animation set up. And so looking through this giant list here, you can see the names of all the exported geo in the hierarchy. And so you can identify if there's like something that's missing there, which you have to be pretty aware of the geometry though. So like it helps if you know. So like here I missed the 6. I just had a typo. It should have been 6 instead of 5 because I was copy and pasting. So there's I don't know, some kind of human sanity check, but it definitely is. It can be error prone. That's currently what we're doing to try and automate it a little bit because we rig it in here, the skeleton rig, but it's not super compatible with Unreal. And so we have this like naming scheme to make it more compatible is we can automate it, sort of, like semi-automate it. So at least in Houdini, we can automate that entire process by getting the hierarchy set up, but we're not able to automate the control rig just yet. It's possible, but we're kind of working through that. So once that's all set up, we can run this code and get these auto paths set up. By default, Houdini doesn't build out this path attribute, and we need it built out a very particular way so that it'll work in Unreal. So all those PA underscore prefixes you're seeing are invisible geometry that are put at the same location as those skeleton joints, and it'll force Unreal to acknowledge the pivot locations that we've set in Houdini. And so that's kind of like we have all this automation set up to where it'll export all of that as a part of the geo, and then once we get it into Unreal, we can create a control rig that'll abstract that away from the hierarchy, and then we can get our animatable machine. And the import always takes a while, so I'm going to cut off here, and then next time I'm going to have to redo the control rig, but it shouldn't be terrible because we have that little like for loop in there, and so I should just be able to like copy a new list because now there's just more joints because we added all those feathers and stuff. So that should be it, and then we can get to animating and stuff. Although I'm probably gonna stop at this point and go back to the desk menu thing and get the goose spawned in, and probably even process other models and get those in. So, but I'll probably pull them in as static meshes. Yeah, so that we can just get done with the menu.